First, let's talk to Samantha. You've got something else here, Samantha?
Yes, I like to talk about the PET scan and having access to PET scans in Ontario.
Sure.
I'm not sure if you read my story in the newspaper or not, or saw me on TV, but I've been fighting to get a PET scan for...
I did see the story, yes.
Yes, you did. Okay. I've been fighting for about a month to get a PET scan, and I've been getting the runaround, of
And
course.
what's your medical condition that requires this?
I have breast cancer that has spread to my liver.
Right.
And I'm only 35.
Oh, dear.
So I've been fighting for about a month, and I've been getting basically the runaround. I did get a call from the health minister's office. They gave me a phone number for my oncologist to call. It turns out that I've already filled out all that paperwork. Now, in the midst of all this, I decided to take it upon myself to ask my oncologist to give me an MRI. I got the results back on Monday, and it's bad. The lesion that they were looking at has almost doubled over in size. And I have lesions all throughout my liver. Now, I guess my question to the Ontario government is how many more people have to die waiting for scans? And why aren't they giving PET scans to people that need it?
What do you feel the PET scans could do for you, Samantha?
Well, I had one in Montreal because I had surgery to remove 60% of my liver with cancer in it. So it shows in greater detail. It picks up small traces of cancer.
Right.
It's better than a CT scan. They argued with me that a CT scan is about as good, and I said no, it's not. And it could have caught it at an earlier stage. The problem is that you get a CT scan, and then you wait a month to see your oncologist because they're so overrun. So you're working with month-old information. And then, of course, you have to wait and get a scan. And it's kind of cancer's time of the essence here. You can't sit on it, unfortunately. And a lot of people are just, I don't want to sound dramatic, but people are dying, waiting to see what's going to happen to them.
And your feeling is that the PET scan will show these lesions, will show
them at a time where they're small and they can...
You can do something about it.
You can nip them in the bud, and people can probably avoid surgeries. Because, you know, you've heard of people who are opened up and they say, oh, my gosh, it's everywhere, and they just close them up.
Right.
That's horrible to have to go through that, to think you're going into surgery to help yourself, and then you wake up and they say there was nothing we could do.
Now, do you think that a PET scan would have assisted you, Samantha?
Definitely. Definitely.
When did you first try to get one?
I saw my oncologist on August 15th when we got the results from my CT scan, and we started the ball rolling. I was denied because I didn't fit the criteria for the clinical trials that's being run at the Ottawa hospital.
Right.
What the criteria is, I couldn't tell you. I mean, I'm stage 4. I don't know how much worse it can get.
Can I ask you a question? I hate to ask it.
That's okay.
But you've called. Do you think it's because they feel that it's too late and that just it's there's no sense in doing this?
For my oncologist, no. He's always hopeful.
Right.
He says he won't give up until I say stop.
Right.
So he's always said it's your call.
Right.
The problem is that they're not in Quebec. They do 16,000 a year. In Ontario, they do 750.
You're talking about PET scans? PET scans.
People with cancer cannot get to these PET scans.
Where are there PET scans in the city?
There's 2 at the Civic site, but it's in the Heart Institute, so it's only done for heart patients.
I see.
And there's one at the General that they're not really using except for this exploratory research.
So you don't feel that it's a matter of overuse, that you say that there's one of these that's not being used that often? No,
not at all. Not at all.
So what reason do they give you for refusal?
I didn't meet the criteria.
Which is?
I don't even know. I think there's a few options from what I understand. The first option I can't really remember. The second option is that you have to fit this criteria of this clinical trial. And then, of course, the third option is they'll look at you on a case-by-case basis, and then essentially a doctor says, yes, you can have it, or no, you can't.
Has the cancer spread beyond your liver?
We only did the MRI of the liver, so my scans that I did back in the summer in July have showed that no, it's not anywhere else. But at this point, it's what I have left of my liver from the leftover of the surgery is there's nodules everywhere.
But I mean, liver transplants are not that uncommon these days.
I don't know if I'd qualify, and I don't know if I'd make it to see the liver transplant. I don't know if they give transplants to cancer patients. I don't know. Like, this is the thing. The thing is, I had to go all the way to Montreal for it to find a doctor.
Have you inquired about a transplant?
No, I'm seeing my oncologist today to discuss where we go next, and that'll be a question. But the thing is, I had to leave Ontario to even find a surgeon who would do the liver resection for me.
Really?
I was turned down by a liver surgeon in Toronto.
Because you live in Ontario.
I live in Ottawa, yeah.
But you had to go to Quebec.
I had to go to Quebec because a Toronto surgeon turned me down.
A Toronto surgeon turned you down?
Yep. He told me he could do it, but there'd be no point.
You sound remarkably calm about all of this.
I guess it gets to a point. I've been dealing with it for almost 4 years. But it gets to a point where, I hate to say this, it's almost funny. You just have to laugh. I mean, how much more ridiculous can it get?
You have a family?
I have a 6-year-old son and a husband, yes.
How are they taking this?
My husband's furious.
Your son?
Doesn't understand. He understands. We haven't told him exactly what's happening right now because we don't know all the information of what I'm going to be doing. Yes, there needs to be a reform in Ontario, and people need to get access to the treatment.
Maybe we could at least, at the very least, ask when a candidate comes calling at the door, we might ask him about this.
Yes, definitely. I can't wait for one to ring my doorbell, actually, because they'll be here for a while. But I think Ontario and people in Ontario need what everyone else in Canada.
It's really amazing. I mean, with what you're telling me now, and it seems that we're all bogged down in this one issue about faith-based schools, that the whole issue of health care and all the rest of it just seems to have gone by the wayside.
That's the thing. I have not yet seen anything really talked about health care. And again, you don't know until you're touched by it, right? So some people, school is the big issue. In my house, it's health. And I just want people to be aware that people in other provinces are getting better service than we are here.
Samantha,
yes.
God bless.
Thank you very much.